Hey there, everybody. Happy Saturday evening. Welcome to Salty Saturday. I'm Donde. Excited to be here tonight for two awesome Legacy playoff matches. Joining me, as always, is Isocles. Isocles, how thawed out are you right now, my friend?
We're getting there. Some of the snow's melted, still there in the shadows, but for the most part, we can actually see the ground again. So it's not bad.
An oddly convenient name for yourself, a handle that you use, of course, not expected in Texas, but it's been a tough week. So glad to hear that you're doing good, and hopefully these players are doing well tonight because these are two great matches. We are starting off both legacy, both quarterfinal matches with Mayanadon of F2L versus Karatedom of Team Trees, and this is it. This is the final match of the series. It is a 12-11 F2L lead right now, so this is it. It matters not what the score is. All that matters is who wins this series. That team advances. High stakes. I love it. We're also going to be getting to Foolish Madmen versus Ad Legend later. That's Automated Button versus Desharmo. And now, when we were looking at this one earlier today, it was Dad Legend on the ropes 8-2, but now they got a win out on Zabe and they're back to only down 10-6. So this is a very impactful match as well, as this can get them to a game 5 of their own, Isocles.
Yeah, and actually, the sensible Game 5, Yellow Dart versus Jimbo, is going to be happening at the same time. So
Oh, okay.
might be able to provide some on-the-fly updates. We'll see. We'll see how things are going. But yeah, I think
Definitely.
both of these matches are going to be decided, and that's it for Legacy semifinals because we already have Always Top Deck Lethal and the Flame Pimps who have advanced and are waiting for the winners of these two matches. So we're going to know a lot about Legacy next week when we're done here tonight. It's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. And we are. Let's talk about the match that we've got in front of us here. As we said, it's exciting all the way through, but let's take it one step at a time. We're going to start with Mayanadon versus Karatedom. Mayanadon is running Druid, Paladin, Priest, Warrior tonight, and Karatedom is running Druid, Paladin, Rogue, Warrior. So very similar lineups outside of that Priest and Rogue. Icicles, I know you love to predict what we're going to see and what we're going to see for a band, so take it away.
Yeah, so Mayanon not bringing Rogue is pretty interesting. It's still one of the premier classes, so it kind of tells me that he's targeting Warrior here. So I think he's going to be banning either the Druid or the Rogue himself. Probably the Rogue, just because it is that really strong class, especially into what he's got. And from Cryodom's side, it's tough to say. I mean, the Priest can be a problem for most of his classes, so it wouldn't shock me if he's on the banned Priest train. It could also be a warrior band depending on what type of druid he has. So something heavier from my add-on side getting banned there. But yeah, it should be pretty interesting to see how this works out. But I think my add-on is definitely is targeting a warrior here. So looking to see some heavier decks, maybe a guardian druid and a big warrior, something like that, that can really beat up the other warrior.
Well, that we very well might see, and as any of our longtime viewers know, this being Legacy Series, we don't know these deck lists. We just know the classes. So these are going to be complete mysteries to us until they are brought to the table. And we do have bans in here, so I'm going to go ahead and update that on the screen for you. We do have a Paladin ban on Mayanadon's side, so he will not be. Or, I'm sorry, a Warrior ban on Mayanadon's side. Mayanadon banned the Paladin of Karatedom. So that
Uh,
that is kind of in line with what you were thinking there, as it was
Still
not a
giving
Warrior
maybe
ban.
some respect to the ramp paladin, even though it got nerfed, it could still be trouble for slower decks. So makes
Definitely.
sense.
Yeah, I faced it on ladder a little while ago. Allura on 5. It's still pretty good. It's not as good as Allura on 4, but it does the job. I guess it's just one more
Yeah.
turn for you to draw Allura in that case, right?
Right. Yeah, and when Mayan's got Priest, and like I said, he's probably targeting a slower lineup, so that Ram Paladin makes sense to ban, assuming that that's what he's thinking.
Absolutely. And, you're obviously predicting a little bit into your opponent's lineup of what they might be bringing to determine your ban, what you think they'll ban of yours, and that can help shape your lineup. But once you get into this match screen here, you're committed. There's no other adjustments that can be made to your list, and you just got to go with what you brought. So we are going to go ahead and let the players know they're ready to go. Myodon will be on the bottom of your screen and Karatedom will be on the top, and we will let them take it away. While I'm getting them set here, Icecleese, what do you think about subbing to our channel? Do you think people should do that?
Absolutely. Now that we've got channel points enabled that you can do so many cool things with, it's just even better for you to sub. And it helps us out. It helps out THL bring you this awesome content. We had a great WoW show yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, or this morning, excuse me, it was earlier today.
Yes.
Yeah, this has been a long day. So, our content's ever growing, getting into Battlegrounds as well. So no matter what type of Hearthstone you enjoy, there's something for you here in THL. So you supporting us helps us support you. So please click that follow, click that like, click that subscribe, or even get the sub if you're already subscribed, and spread the THL love.
Thank you for that, and thank you to everyone watching tonight. Hopefully, the BlizzCon line hangover is not affecting everyone too heavily, and we can enjoy the matches in front of us here. And they're starting, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it up here. See what we have for some opening classes.
Right, I'm starting on the road, and Mayanadon starting on the Paladin. Waiting for my spectate to kick in on Mayanadon. Let's see what he's got. Can't see his cards yet, even though it says I'm spectating him. That's okay. I'll just
Here we
guess.
go.
It'll be fun. Oh, looks like a Libram.
It is a it looks like a pure paladin. We got an Argent Braggart in hand. Usually a hallmark of the pure paladin. I clicked spec on Karatedom. It's not giving me his cards yet, so I don't know.
I've got it the other way around. I've got Karatedom's
There we
cards,
go.
but no Manadon's cards. So we'll try to get that fixed. But I'll tell you that
There we go.
Karatedom looks like he's playing a stealth variant here. He's got a little bit of heaviness with Jandis. That's been cut from some of the faster lists, so I wouldn't be
Yes.
surprised to see Karatedom playing like Steel Dancers and a little bit slower and heavier. But a really great start from Mayanadon with the Aldor into Hand of Adal into Blessing of Wisdom. So he's got everything you could possibly want, and just playing this Braggart for a nice 2-mana 3/5 tempo play.
Yeah, that's a play I don't feel like a lot of players make. Right or wrong, is really saving that Braggart for something like Libram of Hope after it's been Libram of Wisdom, and you really want that humongous play. But sometimes it's just right to go ahead and play out a 3/5, especially against an aggressive opponent.
Yep, I'm resetting my spectators, so will give me just a second. Try to get back in and
Sure
see
thing.
what Mayanadon is playing.
Well, we see Karatedom get that self-sharpening sword
Perfect.
online on 3 with a buff as well. So it is really the hallmark of this rogue deck is getting that weapon going and just doing a ton of damage over the first 3-4 turns of the game. But the devout pupil that pops down here is really going to make that tough and result in a lot of absorbed damage here for Karatedom.
Yeah. Being able to eat that entire swing with the Divine Shield is pretty great for Mayanadon. This is what makes Paladin so strong, is being able to hit those early buffs, getting a cheaper devout pupil, just getting in the rogue's way. And then even then, you're looking at a heal coming down in a couple turns. So
Right.
Karatedon's basically on a clock, not just in terms of killing Mayanadon, but also living himself because of the pressure that Mayanadon's been able to put out. It's just a perfect game from the Paladin so far. So he
Cutting
does get
class
some
for
draw.
free.
Yeah, you like to see that. I mean, things aren't going poorly for the Rogue. It's just the Paladin hit the dream here, and it's just really tough for Rogue to hang. And it looks like this game's just over. So
Yeah. It is unfortunate for Karatedom that Mayanadon curved out so perfectly there. Just had all the answers.
yeah, one of the things that we've seen with Rogue lists, kind of in place of the Janus and maybe the heavier stuff, is running prize plungers. That can sometimes help out with getting rid of taunts or making it a little bit easier to get your damage through. But whether or not Karatedom was playing that, we didn't see, but it could have been helpful in that situation if you'd been able to find it. But I think just the way that the curve worked for that Paladin deck, it wasn't much that the Rogue was going to be able to do in that situation. So
No, sometimes that's just how it goes with that matchup and with that deck. And quick 1-0 win or 1-0 lead now for Mayanadon. And as a reminder, this being Conquest, this is a gotta play all your decks that are not banned and gotta win with all of them. So we won't see that Paladin once more, but we will see possibly that Rogue again. Not right now though, because it's gonna be Druid for Karatedom versus Priest for Mayanadon.
I will protect the Alliance.
So this looks like a Res Priest from Mayanadon, in line with that potential a warrior target. And for Karatedom, we saw some of the draw, so this could be a little bit of a heavier Treant build. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see Doru or some of the other stuff, Solar Forest for sure, if there's one.
Yeah,
And
Aeroponics
like
tells me that that it is definitely a Treant build because that's not running the standard token build.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting how this plays out. Again, Karyadom's going to be on a little bit of a clock here, getting a board down that's going to stick, knowing he's going to have to deal with AoE. Having both Lightning Blooms is pretty nice here, because that is going to let him accelerate a board plus a soul, which is pretty good. Because the priest will most likely only be able to clear one, and then you can put out enough pressure to maybe get the priest dead before all the taunts start getting played every turn. So we'll see if he's able to find that board creation.
Speaking of taunts, Mayanadon's got the first in the order of taunts that the Res Priest will be able to play, and that's Bone Wraith in hand on 4. He can even coin it out on 3 if he feels the threat, but 5 plus Holy Nova feels like he's in a pretty decent position to get through these early turns and potentially survive the initial onslaught of this Druid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Priest gameplay here is just kind of sit and react to what your opponent's doing. You could coin out the Bone Wraith potentially. I think saving the coin is probably okay. You're not under any pressure. So the other thing it would allow him to do is play the Insight next turn. So potentially giving him a little bit of acceleration. So I'm kind of leaning towards maybe coining out this Bone Wraith just to start that process going, because as much as you're able to sit back and relax as the Priest, it doesn't hurt to play stuff either, especially if it sets up a better turn next turn. So it probably would be good to get on the board here with the Bone Wraith.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, and also allows him to corrupt the Insight for a better draw on that, and that looks like the exact play he's going to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plus if Karatedom does play a board here, Overgrowth is a nice draw off the top. But if Karatedom had played something, then Mayanadon could have immediately answered 1 at least. So, which is nice against Druid, just killing off the minions before they get buffed. Even if it's just 1 at a time, I mean, it all adds up pretty quickly from the Druid side. So being able to slow that down from the Priest side is pretty good. And right on cue, the Glowfly into into Lightning Bloom Soul Forest, as I think what he should do. But I guess he still could draw, and then no, he's not.
Okay,
So he's just going to allow this to get cleaned up here with the Holy Nova. That's interesting. Usually with the Druid, you want to protect your board, even if it's your first board, because he's holding 2 Aeroponics, because he's holding Arbor Up. I mean, he just had so much follow up to have that board. If you had the treants coming behind it, and Maya would not have been able to deal with that second board. So interesting choice there to take it a little bit slower. But I think taking it slower just kind of plays into the Priest's game plan.
It definitely does, and by now seeing that Bone Wraith, you have to know the archetype that you're playing against is Res Priest, which wants this game to go as long as it can go. So I do agree. I think the Soul of and it's not only that, but there was no second Glowfly in hand or anything to back it up with as far as, okay, you cleared this, here's another one. Now, Mayanadon's starting the taunt train.
Yeah, the Gore was kind of a nice pickup, but now you're just kind of struggling for something to do. And you can play Arbor Up, which isn't terrible. That lets you draw with both Aeroponics for 1 minute each, which kind of seems like a reasonable choice here. You could even attack first and then play the Lunar Eclipse behind it to clean up the Bone Wraith altogether.
Oh, there's a Solar. I think, Snap picking that forest. I didn't even see the other options were.
Yeah. I think one was Healing Touch, and I didn't quite catch the other one, but definitely a premier choice here in this matchup. Really, the game plan that Karatedom is going for is just to run the Priest out of stuff, which is going to be a challenge, but at least is a game plan. And so playing Soul of the Forest here is interesting. Not the widest board, especially with the Forest Aid coming out behind, but then again with the Forest Aid, you're not really often going to be able to place Soul of Forest along with it. Although he was holding the 2 Lightning Blooms, so.
Yeah, Grave Rune on this Convincing Infiltrator is absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough call from Karatedom to not kill that, because you just give away some of your board, but at this point now, Mayanadon is just doing all of the obnoxious Res Priest stuff, and it's going to be a challenge for Karatedom to ultimately break through this wall. So there's really nothing in Druid's toolkit that allows them to get through. Yeah, that's pretty great. I think that's a pretty clear choice here. Holy Nova's not bad, but this is looking pretty good for Mayanadon right now.
I think one of the things I would have liked to see earlier in this game for Karatedom is leveraging those Lightning Blooms. We talked about them. They're very, very key cards, and knowing this matchup is one where it just gets out of control very quickly, I think that would have been the optimal play there. Even if it results in a board clear from Mayanadon, you make them have it. You make them have the clear rather than just waiting for late game against a deck that can outlast you in the late game.
Right. And so he does get at least full value out of another Soul of the Forest. So, and depending on how these corrupting infiltrators go, might lose a Treon or two, but I think that's okay. I think this is pretty good from the Druid's perspective, just to finally start to mount some semblance of a comeback here. And Mayanadon's one turn away from being able to Mass Res, but I think this is going to end up being a Massive Spell followed by potentially Hysteria on probably the Goru that would potentially clean up 2 of these Treants and then allow his Cycle Pump to clean up another one and put him in at least out of Savage range from what we can see from Karatedom side.
Yeah, Mayanadon has to be cognizant of the potential damage that can come to the face, which in most cases with the Druid deck, it is all of it. Can get you there very quickly. But Karatedom right now doesn't have any of that damage in hand. Though Fungal Fortunes is a draw away from finding one of those Savage Roars, and Solar is going to very easily be lethal.
Yeah. So 3, 6, 9 plus 16, 25. So not quite yet with 1 Savage, but not too far off. The good thing for Mayanadon here is the fact that he's got Mass Res followed by Mass Res, and his Res pool is going to be extremely good with only 1 Cycle Pump blocking things up.
So we're looking at 6 cards left in deck right now for Karatedom. I have to assume both of the Savage Roars. This is probably running 2, I would imagine.
Potentially, I've seen a lot of lists, especially these heavier lists, only running 1 and relying on the Solar Eclipse to give you the double when necessary.
Right. So we're looking at least one of the 6 cards remaining being a Savage Roar. We have seen only 1 Innervate, maybe second Innervate's in hand already. So yeah, I mean there's maybe some Power of the Wilds would be, I guess, the other buff.
Arbor Up, another Nature Studies, potentially another Runic Carvings, potentially maybe a Force of Nature, depending on how I built the list. There's a couple cards that could be popping up here.
Well, there's that Force of Nature you mentioned.
Yeah, being able to kill his Vargoth, so man doesn't get the double res, but I think the damage is already done in terms of being able to Holy Nova twice. So I think these next 2 turns from Mayanadon are going to be Mass Res followed by Mass Res. And
if a Vargoth gets hit off the Mass Res, then more power to Mayanadon.
Right. So we'll see how the another nice pickup with the Plague of Death.
Yeah, embarrassment of riches at this point.
Yeah, I think the Mass Res is better here just to get a presence, and you probably want to follow up with Renew. Doesn't hit the Vargoth, but it does get all the taunts that you could want. So now it just becomes a math problem for Karatedom. I'm trying to figure out very quickly how to maximize his chances of getting through the taunts and hoping the Corrupted Infiltrator doesn't kill something important. So looks like he's going to hold the Savage for now. Just try to whittle his board down, but we're going to see Mass Res number 2 coming right behind it. So. Interesting, he's leading up the Infiltrator here.
Second Arbor Up. That was another card that we had not considered in our run through of what could possibly be left in the deck, but that's a good one to now have. And Mayanadon took a Breath of the Infinite last turn, only to draw a Breath of the Infinite this turn. Might as well. Just going to go ahead and clean clear.
Don't mind that. So if you're Mayanadon, you know what's left. You know that there's the back half of the Forest Aid. You know there's a second Glowfly Swarm. You're probably figuring there's a Force of Nature. So basically you're counting boards in your head of how many left you have to deal with. You know you've got a a Plague of Death, which cleanly deals with 1. You've got Breath of the Infinite, which is not exactly enough because of the buffed trance, but it would take care of the Glowfly Swarm. So if it doesn't immediately get buffed, so you're feeling pretty good right now. I think the counting is in your favor as far as clearing out these boards go. Being able to Lucia down some of this stuff as well could be pretty impactful if he's able to steal the Savage Roar, steal the Solar Eclipse, just take that out of the equation once he gets a little bit lower in resources himself.
Yeah, the only thing I would be worried about is if you are Mayanadon, you absolutely probably want to play that Galakrond first, because that gives Karatedom the only other option to get back in this game is an infinite value generator, because you've got him at the point now where he's running out of resources and he's only got so much left, and you don't want to just gift him another option.
Well, there's 2 things with that. One, you're probably never playing Galakrond as the priest here. Like, you're never going to be able to. And 2, from Karetedom's perspective, he's only got 1 card left in his deck, so that infinite value generation does still have a limit on how much it can do, just given the amount of time left. So
True. I've been burned by priests before, and I'm always worried about it.
yeah. So this probably feels like okay. No, never mind. He's setting up the Breath of the Infinite, I think.
I think that's the way I would go about it as well.
Because this actually would let him play Galakrond if he wanted. It wouldn't be the worst choice here. Yeah, and he can
Okay,
keep
yep.
his
Set the Galakrond, yep.
2 extra damage face and keep the Infiltrator's health up. So, what I said about not being able to play Galakrond, man, found the opportunity to. So that's up to him. So.
And there's that second Runic Carvings that we've now seen the entire deck. And Karadom's got another board.
Yep.
But Mayanadon's got Plague of Death.
Right. So the question now for Mayanadon is now the time to play Lucia? Because you know what's there, and if you get rid of the Savage Roar and the Solar Eclipses, potentially, then yes, these 2/2s are annoying, but this might be your best chance to do this and get rid of that sort of final way for Karatedom to win. And then also knowing exactly what is left. Karatedom would probably follow up by killing that Plague of Death, but you might have enough time, especially with the Katrina, just to basically just stave off these last couple boards that Karatedom can build.
Mayanadon opting to, looks like, just play Plague of Death now.
Mm-hmm. If he has a second one in the deck, this is probably fine. If that was his only Plague of Death,
right,
then this could get troublesome. So we're going to see just one more board put out. I think with the Solar Savage, if this sticks, it's going to be lethal. So Mayanadon needs to find something off this palm reading or draw another Plague of Death or something to clear out this last board from Karatedom. The last board, I say that there's 2 more ways for him to create it, but
yeah, Grave Rune is not the card he's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible that you palm reading here, and if you whiff, you can just Elucia. And even then, you just burn out what's in their hand. You know, even if you just drop a Savage Roar, just goodbye. You can't use it now. At least gives you one more turn to look for something else.
So I think if he plays with Lucia, he's able to get rid of the Savage. He can't quite get rid of Runic Carvings as well. The mana's not quite there. Yeah, he'd be 1 off. He could play the Solar Eclipse, though, along with the Runic Carvings. So that
you basically get rid of everything except for
Savage and Force of Nature.
Yeah, Savage and Force of Nature, but you don't want to give
the
him
Runic would only the Runic will only kill 2 things if you did that way.
Plague of Death.
Can't play it this turn though.
No, he cannot.
And this is gonna stave off a little bit. So he probably will. Yeah, I think he innervates Solar Savage.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's totally fine here because you know that he can't kill you from hand this turn. Oh, did he run out of time?
Play the innervate in the Solar. Yeah, I think he was just locked in on playing the Savage. The animation may have taken longer on his screen than it did for us. So.
And Karatedom knows that Plague of Death is in hand. He knows that it's coming down next turn.
Right. Yeah, getting rid of the Katrina is pretty nice, though. He does have the refill with the Runic Carvings and Force Nature that unfortunately might get punished for not burning the Solar and the Innervate as well. But being able to play Death here is pretty nice. And picking up the Death of the Infinite Find it isn't bad either. So this will probably give him a taunt that then he'll be able to play Grave Rune on. If he gets the cartouche really good, that's not as good, but it could also resin something. So
Psychopomp whiff into another Psychopomp would be the absolute negative nuts for Mayanadon.
Right.
But the chance of that after everything that's died this game is so small. I guess Vargoth would also be pretty terrible here potentially.
Yeah, Vargoth would be game losing. Depending on what he draws. Another palm reading.
I'm gonna start
so
with
we can start with palm reading. Yeah.
I think you do. Just in case you get his Holy Nova,
Soul
Breath of the
Mirror,
Infinite. Yeah,
another Breath of the Infinite, or Holy Nova.
literally anything. Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Renew is a
Renew's not
card.
bad. Yeah. Get a free chance.
It's free.
Something.
Yeah.
Wave of
Wave
not
of Apathy.
bad.
Yeah,
Hit
that's
him a pinch.
that's a post Psychopomp play here. If you absolutely whiff.
Mm-hmm. If you hit one of your taunts and Grave Rune it, then you're probably okay.
Yep,
and it's totally
yeah.
fine.
Mayanadon played to the numbers there, hit the minion that you would expect based on how many had died. He's already Grave Rune that once this game. It's died about 5 or 6 times over. And he's going to Wave of Apathy anyway.
That Sneaky Goro keeping these minions at 2 attack.
Which actually would have been lethal anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Had he not gotten the Renew, that is. And Karatedom is able to get rid of, 3 effectively, and leaving 1 up, but
I think he is out of stuff now, because he plays the Force of Nature, and Mayanadon's will be able to just about clear this board. I think actually we'll be able to clear this board.
Right.
Breath of the Infinite takes out 4, Psychopomp takes out the 5th, the Infiltrator takes out a 6th, and whatever else he wants to do. So 1 left, but it's not getting through. So Mayanadon takes game 2.
That is correct. And F2L now 1 win away.
Coming down to Mayanadon's Druid, so it's interesting to see which Druid he brought. If he is going for that warrior target, then this is probably going to be a slower, maybe even a Clown Druid, maybe a Guardian Druid, something that could be weak to the Token Druid that Karatedom has, and the World Kick Rogue, or the Aggro Rogue, excuse me, that we saw earlier. So we could end up going to a game 5 depending on how this Druid is built. If it's designed specifically for the warrior, then it could be in a rough shape against the Druid and Rogue that we've already seen from Karatedom.
Well, we're about to see a Druid v Druid.
Yeah, Yasharaj and Strongman. So it definitely looks like a kill warrior Druid that may not fare as well. I mean, there's still, because this is a little bit of a slower treant build from Karatedom, Mayanadon might have the time to ramp up to the clowns and whatnot, which will be just as devastating for this Druid as we saw the Priest Walls. But it's definitely an opportunity for Karatedom here to get on the board quickly and just run over Mayanadon in this game.
And as we see Mayanadon's hand very heavy outside of the Innervate and Lightning Bloom. The Overflow would be nice for a draw if it wouldn't ultimately probably just lead to immediate death the next turn. If you leave up any sort of board, most likely you're going to die within a turn or 2.
Yep, that's true.
And
so
here
we're
comes
going for the early Overgrowth.
Yeah, Overgrowth.
Allows for Force of Nature next turn.
That it does. Nature Study is a little bit of relief there. Mayanadon will have something to play. Doesn't find a lot, though. Claw, Dreamway. Dreamway, yeah, probably the best pick out of that group there. Just get something down.
Yeah, this at least kind of gets in the way a little bit. Mayanadon's hand's really heavy, so it's going to be troublesome here for him unless he picks up something.
On time.
Nice.
Yeah, Overgrowth is fantastic. And now in a pinch, he can always go Lightning Bloom, Innervate, and get down a Carnival Clown. I mean, you hate to use it like that, but if it's the difference between dying and living, then of course you're going to play that. But if he can get an Overflow down next turn, I think that might be what he needs to get himself back in the game here. Looking at the opposing side, it's not as overwhelming as it could be.
Yeah, Karatedom once again taking it a little bit slower. He could have bloomed out the Arbor up here, just put out a ton of pressure, but going a little bit slower. He did this last game too, and I think it kind of cost him. We'll see if it costs him in this game. I think he's kind of undervaluing the power of a bloom play early. But Mayanadon with that Anusa pickup is able to overflow and get free taunt out of it, maybe a second one if he's so lucky.
Oh, make it 2.
Yep.
Outside of the second Anubisath draw, not really the best Overflow. I'm sure he's looking for guardian animals, looking for a 10 drop to activate these Carnival Clowns, but I mean, it's closer to those cards now than he was before.
Yeah. So a little bit of the greed might be paying off here for Karatedom being to solar into the Arbor up. So yeah, I kind of deride him a little bit for not playing it last time, but I think this actually worked out pretty well. So
It did,
give
yeah.
him credit for maybe taking the greedier line, knowing he could get away with it against this Druid, expecting it to not have an answer for what he already had on the board. So that did work out in his favor. So that's off to him for playing
Yeah.
that way.
And this looks like Mayanadon is either going to have to hit that Cenarian Ward and pray real hard that it's something that can abate a lot of damage, or just play a Carnival Clown. And in that case, it's going to eat
He's
3
dead
minions
with it.
and be dead. Yeah.
I think he's kind of in a desperate strait here. So I'm not sure what he has in his deck that can answer this type of board. I mean, the 8-drop is, I guess if you bloom an 8-drop and get something like maybe the 5/10 that keeps attacking when it kills something.
Well, he could
along with
bloom
Umbral.
innervate, and then get the Umbral Hour for free. Play the Carnival Clown. That would allow him to eat 3 attacks. And to his knowledge, of course, the Savage Roar makes that pointless, of course, but at least to his eye, that would keep him alive.
Yeah. That's what he's looking at. So see if I don't think that's enough, but
no, it's not enough. It's definitely not enough. There's going to be
especially
8,
with the
10,
Lunar
8.
behind it.
Yeah, I was going to say lunar not withstanding, it would have been what 8 for the 3 minions is 24 alone. Just the 3 minions hitting face. So
I don't even think he has to Savage. He could just have lethal with the Lunar hero power, and then trading off the 2/4 attacks, and then going face with the other 4. So,
but might as well do the most damage possible.
let there be no doubt that this game was won by the faster Druid. So yeah, as we kind of expected, the faster Druid gets it done here. Trion will probably key up the Rogue next, just to try to keep that momentum going. I think it's a better matchup into this slow Druid. But he's probably already thinking in his mind of what he can do about the Druid with the Warriors, and it really depends on what the Warrior is. There are a couple different decks that might be able to deal with it. ETC always has a chance until the armor gets built. Sasso TK always has a chance until you start getting beat down. So just to see what Warrior Karatedom decided to go with, but we're gonna see the rope first. See if he can keep the momentum going.
And now we move into game 4. Karatedom trying to keep it alive here for Team Trees. Mayanadon does have that overgrowth.
The stealth minions. So this is another matchup where if Karatedom's able to get on the board quickly, Druid's gonna have a really difficult time dealing with it. And we see exactly what Karatedom wanted when he rolled his full hand is the Spy Meshes into Sage. So this could get ugly quickly for Mayanadon once again in this game. I mean, there's an argument to just going ahead and coin, bloom, overgrowth, and just throw away your next turn because you're not doing anything next turn anyway. It's likely that Karatedom doesn't even attack with his 3/1, so you wouldn't be able to target it with your hero power unless he's got a follow-up minion. So you saw him full mole, chance that his 3/1 doesn't even attack. So I don't mind just trying to overgrowth as soon as possible. That's what Mayanadon's thinking. It gets progressively harder to play overgrowth the longer this game goes because you'll be under more and more pressure. So doing it now when you're likely not having to deal with anything next turn anyway, and he gets rewarded for it. So worked out and picks up the
the second ramp spell. Yes, that is humongous for Mayanadon. Basically exactly what he needs. And yeah, Karatedom, obviously when you're holding back the stealth minion, if you're Mayanadon, Greyheart Sage is in hand. It's coming down, and it couldn't have come down any quicker there for Dom.
Guess the way to another good draw for Mayanadon, letting him draw a little bit, he will be able to overflow next turn. But we'll see how much he can pull off of this. I guess the wait.
He picks up the Strong Man, not a bad one. Yeah, Moontouch Amulet is probably the play.
Okay, since it's corrupted, being able to just take care of this 3/3 right away, get some armor, good enough.
He'll happily overflow next turn. we start to see the damage pouring in here for Dom. It's pumping that weapon up to a 5-2. You'd rather use it on the self-sharpening sword, but in a pinch, a 5-2 weapon's not too bad.
Yeah, the fact that you had cutting class in hand, I think, is what pushed him to making that play. Just being able to draw right away. Self-sharpening sword is great, and you absolutely want to buff it up whenever you can, but being able to just get through your deck faster, get more damage going, and yeah, I know with some good pickups off the
Umbral Owl.
overflow.
Yeah, Owl can go ahead and get rid of this 5-1 here immediately. And next turn, he's got Cenarian plus Strongman, and then a Cenarian after that, and a Yogg if he needs to pull the cord. So there's a good chance Mayanadon might be able to survive this onslaught.
Definitely going to be close. Be interesting to see what he can pull off of the Cenarian board. There's enough damage in Karatedom's deck to just go over the top.
Of course.
Even with 8 more armor. But being able to stop the minion damage is going to be pretty massive. It's fine. There are worse options.
Yep, it's, I mean, as far as the stats are concerned, it's statted appropriately for an 8-drop. It's not taunt. You'd rather have taunt, but I think that plus the Strongman is a pretty good play there for Mayanadon, and now Dom's going to have to use the remaining chargeless weapon to go ahead and get rid of the 6-6 with taunt.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I think this is a turn I might have spent a little more time thinking about as Karatedom. I might have come to the same conclusion this was the right play, but I might have wanted to think about it a little bit just to maybe save that Nitro boost for one of the minions, as well as, excuse me, for the self-sharpening sword, just to prolong the damage off of it. If you're expecting there to be more taunt and not to get as much value out of the self-sharpening sword, then that makes sense, but like I said, it might end up still being the correct play, but interesting nonetheless that he went with that line pretty quickly. Not exactly the best options. Savagery is not terrible because it allows you to hero power and just ping off the 3-1, but because with Solar Force, just a little more board presence potentially. Second Cenarian ward
continues to go ahead and get more health, and Archwitch Willow is probably the worst 8-drop. It's not one of the worst.
Yeah, there's a handful of 5/5s that you hate to see, but.
Another Umbral Owl will pick up another good draw. And there's the Carnival Clown. I think that might be it.
Being able to survival next turn because he's not in imminent danger. As much damage as this rogue can put out, it's going to be tough to do all this damage in 6 mana's worth of time.
We'll see what comes out of the Secret Passage here. Dread Corsair. Not a card that's run in all these lists. I would imagine that means there's no Penflingers in here.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, we saw that James in the first game.
Right, yes.
Off to this being a slower variant. So
I think we're seeing a spec bug here on my side. You might be seeing it too. I'm seeing things being played, like I'm seeing arrows, but halfway through the Secret Passage, it basically stopped and said, "I'm not showing you anymore." So I don't know what's going on.
So Karatedom played out the deckhand, the 3-1, and the Corsair, and that's basically it. And what we're seeing from Mayanadon now was survival of the fittest. Which is going to activate this clown and pretty much wrap this game up. I think, what do you think? If he's going to have 5, 7, 10, depending on how good the Secret Passage is, he still has an Eviscerate in the deck. He still has a Deadly Poison in the deck. Gonna be close. I don't know if he quite has enough damage because of the fact that this version isn't running the Penflingers. There just might not be enough damage left. We'll see what he gets off this cutting class. He's gonna be able to play for free, but he gets a Worgen Infiltrator and a Volpera Toxin Blade. So it looks like he's going to fall short of damage this turn, and I don't think he's gonna be able to have enough damage over the top with only one Eviscerate left in the deck.
Right.
I'm playing Clowns now. Should have a pretty good idea that the Clowns is enough here. So
yeah, we did get back online here for at least for viewing purposes. We are, it looks like, slightly behind you, and as you were describing some of the things that we had yet to see, but now we've seen them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know at what point coverage might have been lost, but
Yeah, always
it looks like
appreciate the play-by-play, and we have now seen the massive amount of clowns come down on the board and the give up for Karatedom, and that will do it for the series.
F2L advances, and they will take on the Lane Pimps in the semifinals. So congrats to F2L. Moving on. And congrats to Team Trees on a really good season. This was their first
Absolutely.
loss. A really well fought series. They came close. I think any player that lost a match is gonna think about what could have gone right. They could have swung the series, but excellent season by Team Trees. A couple players new to teach out. A couple players coming back from some time off. So glad to see some more competitive teams coming in and doing well. So nothing to be ashamed of. It was an excellent season by them. But congrats to F2L. Moving on.
Moving on indeed, and just to see if Mayanadon is available for a quick interview, and he is. So we'll go ahead and try to get him in here and chat with him about that series real quick. All right, there we are.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, Mayanadon? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, well fought by Dom there.
Yeah,
But
that first game was very fast.
yeah, first game was quite fast. Yeah, I mean things worked out